I'd like to call the Plan Commission meeting to order for Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Roll call, please.
Eric Kadowski,
Here.
Gary Paul,
Here.
Chris Atkinson,
Here.
Jay Krieger,
Here.
Mike Skippington,
Here.
Corey Campbell,
Here.
and Jim Allen.
Present.
Please stand for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And please remember our men and women throughout the world in uniform. I have no changes to the agenda. I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 5, action on the minutes of May 6, 2025 plan meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion and a second to approve those minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Number 6, comments from the public must be limited to items not on the agenda, must state your name and address, limited to 5 minutes. The board's role is to listen and not discuss the item. Personnel issues cannot be discussed nor individuals named, and the board is not able to take action at this meeting. Is there anybody? There is nobody in the audience. Is there anybody online that would like to say anything on items not on tonight's agenda? Moving on, we're going to go to 7, items for discussion and possible action. A, consider, discuss, act on a conditional use permit application for vehicle sales at 1105 Ashwaubenon Street, parcel VA-204-3. Aaron.
All right, thank you. I will share my screen just to give a image of the location. All right, there we go. So as depicted on the map, this is within the industrial park. Property is zoned I-2, heavy industry. Within the I-2 heavy industry zoning district, vehicle sales are a conditional use. Under the code, we do have certain standards for vehicle sales for conditional use permits. As noted in the staff report, not have more than 1 vehicle display pad for every 100 feet of street frontage. The vehicle display pad may be elevated up to 2 feet above adjacent displays at grade level. Have no vehicle display pads or racks to tilt vehicle in any way to show the underside unless located in the showroom. Not display vehicles or similar items on top of a building. Have no outdoor speaker or public address system that is audible off-site. Display no materials for sale between the principal structure and the street, and not test drive vehicles in residential streets. In discussing the request with the applicant, he is indicating a total of 5 outdoor spaces for the display of vehicles indicated by the black X in the application photos, and 5 customer parking spaces against the building indicated by the red X in the application photos as well. An additional 6 vehicles for sale will be located inside the building as indicated with the black X as well. There's a couple of parking spaces on the rear of the building. That's for their team members. Staff is recommending approval of the conditional use permit based upon the requested or the proposed standards within the conditional use permit requirements under Village Code, not to exceed 5 outdoor sales spaces, again, and the noted standards under the Ashwaubenon Village Code. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I don't see the applicant here.
So, Aaron, I have a question. So it says you can't have more than 1 vehicle display pad for every 100 feet of street frontage. So he has 500 feet?
So the display pad actually is one of the raised pads, or tilted a little bit, for to kind of draw attention to it. In this case, he has no pads.
Okay,
These are just parking spaces.
okay. Okay. So everything is spelled out very clear here that, like, we're not gonna end up with the situation we've had with that other used car sales, that they're supposed to have 10 used cars and they have like a bazillion of them.
Yeah, that's definitely a different situation from this one. And that's one that we are certainly working with code enforcement on actively.
Yep.
Strictly sales.
Yes, strictly sales, no body work. Any body work is done off-site, no repairs on-site. This is strictly just sales.
Okay, because I noticed there's a warehouse in there where they could be doing repairs or whatever they want to be doing in there, but it's just sales. I guess I don't see any problem with it, so.
Since it's in the industrial park, I'll make the motion to approve the conditional use permit.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use permit for vehicle sales at 1105 Ashwaubenon Street, parcel VA-204-3. Any other comments, questions, concerns?
I do just want to note that it will go to a public hearing and village board following recommendation by Plan Commission.
Okay. Okay, anything else? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. 7B, consider, discuss, act on a resubmitted site plan review request for the Commonplace Building 2 at 670 Mike McCarthy Way, parcel VA-55. Aaron?
All right, thank you. I'll share my screen again and just bring up some of the renderings. So you probably recognize this building. It's been before you a few times now. Under our village code, site plan approvals do expire 1 year after their approval by the village board in this case. Village board approved it back in May of 2024. It did expire at the end of May 2025. At this point, they are requesting a resubmitted site plan with no changes from what was approved last time. I'll run through just some of the highlights of the project. So this is the Commonplace Building 2. As you see on screen, this is Commonplace Building 1 with Odyssey Climbing and Fitness on Mike McCarthy Way. Commonplace Building 2 will be located somewhat in front of Odyssey Climbing and Fitness, extending to the east along Mike McCarthy Way, with parking wrapping around both buildings. In terms of the landscaping, you see here, it's a generalized landscape. There's a requirement or a condition for a detailed landscape plan and planting schedule for approval by the village forester, just like there was with the last approval. Exterior materials you see here, they are architectural wall panels using fully concealed fasteners. On the upper levels, it's masonry on the first floor with some additional masonry accents throughout the building. Also, as you see the porches, so this is fronting on Mike McCarthy Way. The first floor is mixed use, primarily commercial or supportive uses for the apartment building itself, with a couple apartments on the first floor as well. This is the west end of the building. It does say restaurant, but at this point, that's just a placeholder for another commercial use. You can see the walkway along the building right here to Odyssey Climbing and Fitness, and then walking back to the north. This is the back of the building, or north side of the building. You see here, this is again that pathway, common area that walks to the north and will connect to the Green Bay, City of Green Bay Legends District when that gets underway. In terms of recommended conditions of approval, these are basically the same as what was approved last year. I'll read through them just for the record. As the building is greater than 50 feet tall and with an airport zoning district C, the applicant must obtain an application for a height permit and approval from the Green Bay Austin Straubel Airport Director. I should note FAA approval has already been granted, but just as a matter of housekeeping, a separate permit is required through Brown County. As noted, use of fully concealed fasteners for the wall panels. Screen any new rooftop or ground-mounted mechanical units visible from the property boundaries or public right-of-way. The catch-all meet all applicable requirements of the Ashwaubenon site plan review and all other applicable village ordinances. From engineering, coordinate the new utility lateral installation with public right-of-way with Al Farber, Ashwaubenon Utility Operations Supervisor. And just a note, all costs for new laterals and roadway restoration are charged to the development. Stormwater pond, there's a buy-in to the Ashland Pond, so they're taking advantage of the regional stormwater pond for stormwater quality through the buy-in of $8,288.75. Stormwater quantity is handled on-site through underground retention. Public safety had no comments. Forestry has noted the detailed landscape plan requirement, and Bike and Ped had no comments as well. Site Plan Review Committee did review earlier today and did recommend approval. If you have any questions regarding the site plan, I'm happy to answer them. Otherwise, the development team is also available online.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
Like Aaron said, it came through the site plan this afternoon, we didn't see. The only question we had was when they're gonna break ground, and they kinda answered that by, mid-August, I believe.
Correct.
Was groundbreaking. We've been fooling with this, I don't wanna use the word fooling, but we've been working with this for some time, and we do have a startup date now. So if there's no other questions, I'll move to approve, I got the wrong sheet here, the Mike McCarthy addition to the Commons.
Second.
There's a motion and a second to approve with conditions on the first and second.
Staff conditions.
Okay, the second also, okay. Approve the resubmitted site plan request for the Common Place Building 2 at 670 Mike McCarthy Way, parcel VA-55, with staff conditions. Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. 7C, consider discuss the full draft Village of Ashwaubenon Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 2, Land Use. Aaron.
All right, so with apologies to Jay, I understand this was a rough one to read through. So to, I guess, build on that, I have about a 15-slide presentation to, I'm kidding, it's not 15 slides. Really brief, just hit some of the high points here.
To me,
Aaron, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, sir,
Going from chapter 2 to chapter 9 on the next one?
correct.
Did you go through 3, 4, 5 to get to 9?
Yes, we did. We reviewed those earlier in this year and last year.
Okay.
So the, just a real brief presentation here for each of the chapters. So I do want to note that these are the last two chapters for the draft comprehensive plan. So we've made it. So let's hit some of the high points here. So land use, there we go. So we did previously review chapter 2, just the background portion of the document, looked at existing land use summaries, land use trend analysis, existing potential land use conflicts, presented a land use map. What we had to do at this point was really tie all the different chapters together into the future land use. So the second part of the land use chapter really brings all those other chapters in together to a kind of a cohesive vision for the village over the next 20 years. So remember, a comprehensive plan is basically a 20-year vision, but it's in all actuality a 10-year plan, because every 10 years under statute, it does have to be revised and updated. So the future land use for the village of Ashwaubenon just has some general development considerations, kind of overall themes that kind of ran through the comprehensive plan, including a mix of housing types and lot sizes, neighborhood connectivity and street network, commercial industrial redevelopment, and then really maintaining our effective and efficient development review processes that we have here in the village. The future land use did break the village up into 10 different planning areas. There was no, rhyme or reason to this other than these are just areas within the village of similar land use types and geographic location. So just because something is Sports Entertainment Village Center and not Broadway North, it's not a big deal. It's really just to help kind of focus the discussion and the development discussion within those areas. So each planning area does have identified desired uses, potential improvements, and processes. And just as an example, this is a section for the Ashwaubenon Business Industrial Park area. There's a narrative that kind of addresses some of the overall themes we're looking at, again, looking out 20 years, and then bullets out some specific use considerations. So in terms of land uses, what land uses we want to see in this area or transition, wherever it might be. Some recommended improvements, typically public improvements that the village has some sort of control over. And then looking at administrative processes. So what processes should we be looking at, again, moving forward in 20 years? So one of the administrative processes is coordinate with the Ashwaubenon CDA to selectively purchase and assemble small industrial parcels to create larger parcels for new business development and existing business expansion. One of the issues that I've been seeing as development director is I have a lot of businesses that come to me saying, hey, we're looking for 5 to 10 acres of land for a new building. we're getting very limited in what we have available. So our only option, being a somewhat landlocked community, is to look at, okay, are there opportunities for us to basically purchase and assemble smaller parcels of land, put them together to create these larger parcels for future development. So again, these are kind of specific issues that we kind of see in the community, and that's just one example for this industrial and business park area. So each of those 10 planning areas does have this section with, again, an overall kind of narrative, and then specific bullet points with those use considerations, recommended improvements, and administrative processes. So it was not 15 slides. So if you had a chance to review it, I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have on the land use chapter itself.
No, and all joking aside, you did a great job on it. It's not the highest topic to keep people's interest because, there's all the land, this way it's being used. A lot of the things we've discussed in the past of how we don't want this type of land next to this land, and we do that with all our zoning and things like that. The one thing is in a couple of areas, I'll pick on the Fox River area because I brought that up before. What are we kind of doing to incentivize some of those businesses that are there and have been there for a long time, and they're good Ashwaubenon businesses? I'm not trying to be negative towards them, but we could free up some of that to be used for more entertainment and enhancing the Fox River Trail and that. Anything for incentives for them to do that?
So what we can certainly do is, when you look at our TIF districts, for instance, it's really kind of our one real economic development tool that we have in our quiver. Once TID 3 is closed out, we'll have some ability then to look at creating additional TIF districts, sorry. And, at that point, you may have the ability to identify some of these areas within a TID, and therefore then have the ability to provide some incentives to say, look, if you're looking to expand, that's great, we'd love to see you expand, just not in this location. So could we purchase this property from you and help with some of your relocation costs?
Okay.
So until TID 3 closes, we're a little hamstrung there.
Gotcha.
But that's certainly discussed quite a bit in the economic development chapter as a real opportunity for us.
Okay, excellent.
Any other questions? Okay, do we need, I know this was information only, but do we need to receive and place on file? No?
You don't need to, but if you'd like to, you certainly can.
Okay, does anybody want to make a motion to receive and place on file?
Also move.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second to receive and place on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carried. 7D, consider discuss the full draft Village of Ashwaubenon Comprehensive Plan, Chapter 9, implementation.
All right. Again, just a couple slides here for the implementation chapter. This is, I'll be honest, this is the most boring chapter we have. It's very much a little prescriptive in terms of what we have in there, but it does help us as a staff level, especially as we work with Joel to update the strategic plan, to help identify those specific development-related topics that we should include in the strategic plan for the next 5 years, as well as kind of helps us from a department standpoint set our priorities as we look at what we need to do internally. So within the implementation chapter, each section has identified priority, action, responsible party, department, other partners and resources in a time frame. It also goes through and identifies some funding opportunities for the different programs we have. Just as an example, this is pulled out of the zoning section. A couple high priorities. I do want to stress that even though something might have a medium or low priority, it doesn't mean it's not a priority. It just means it's not as high a priority as some of these other items that need to get done in a more quick fashion. So in this case, revise the village's zoning code to reflect the comprehensive plan. Who are the primary responsible parties for that? Community Development Department, Planning Commission. Other parties, village manager, village board, board of appeals, and what's our time frame for that? 2025, 2026. What this also does is it helps maintain consistency. You know, so say I get hit by a bus, new guy comes in, or lady, takes his position and says, okay, what do we have to work on here as a community development department? This again helps set that stage and gives that continuity of effort. Also review the village maximum building height limits as part of the zoning update to determine if they meet current and future needs of the village. That's something that came up as a result of some development projects on South Oneida Street as a discussion. We need to look at our height requirements and how realistic are they long-term for the village. So that is also a high priority in terms of our work program from the community development department over the next 26 years. So along with the zoning code, we're working on that height requirements. So that was all I had for implementation chapter. Any questions on that?
Aaron, when you talk about heights, I know what you're talking about on Oneida Street. We've had some projects there that were, I don't know, use the word restrictive, but are you thinking of increasing the height or trying to get them so we can get more height to buildings? Is that what your thought is on that?
At this point, you know, it's really open to discussion, but because we are, again, a very much landlocked community, and land prices are so high, especially in the northeastern part of the village there around Lambeau Entertainment District, the only way to really cash flow projects is to increase the density. And the way to increase density is through increased height. Now, the question is, you know, what is an appropriate height to allow for businesses, say, right on Oneida Street or businesses on Holmgren Way? Is there a difference that we should be looking at? So that's really the discussion that'll be taking place with Planning Commission kind of being the steering committee on that discussion.
Well, when you're talking about height, we're also talking about working with the airport in order to get the height, aren't we? Aren't we restricted because of airport regulations for height?
You know, to a degree, but there's processes to work through on that. And I guess those are all different things that we'll address as we kind of start diving into that height discussion. So at this point, we're just setting the stage, saying that is a priority for us, is to look at that. And then we'll really kind of dive in the nitty gritty of that as we move forward in the future.
Okay, any other questions?
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Tremendous amount of work
Thank you.
has been put into it, should be acknowledged that, you know,
Appreciate that.
it wasn't built in a day. Okay.
Yeah, Aaron, we had sent out that RFP and got back some pretty high estimates to redo our comp plan, and Aaron volunteered to take it on. So he did a great job.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so do we have a motion to receive and place on file?
So move.
Second?
Motion and a second to receive and place on file. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed. Motion carried. 7E, consider discuss the draft Village of Ashwaubenon Comprehensive Plan Review and Adoption Timeline. Aaron.
All right. Now that we've gone through all 9 chapters of the draft comprehensive plan, I have some work in front of me to put all those chapters together into a document as a full comprehensive plan document. Once I do that, what I have to do is send out a notice to all the surrounding and overlapping units of government that our draft comprehensive plan has been compiled and is ready for review from the village website. Now, I did also put a notice in the village newsletter that just went out today, thanks to Sarah. So I want to make sure that our residents are aware that this document is available on our website as well. Along with that notification to the governmental units, I do have to publish a Class 1 public hearing notice. And this is all statutory requirements under the comprehensive planning law. That will then include on August 5th, so our next Plan Commission meeting, Plan Commission, if you so choose, can adopt the comprehensive or recommend adoption of the comprehensive plan by resolution. There's then a public hearing at the village board. Village board then takes action should they so decide to adopt it by ordinance. And that's all, again, prescribed by state statute. Should it be adopted at the August 26th meeting, I will then send out a notice of adopted comprehensive plan, again, to a statutory review list that is, again, prescribed in state statute, including the school districts, library, Wisconsin Department of Administration, Brown County, Bay Lake Regional Planning Commission, and again, our neighboring units of government, and Oneida Nation, for that matter. So I just want to give you the background on the process and the timeline for the formal adoption of the comprehensive plan, so you know what to expect. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
It ain't done yet, then.
Nope, definitely not.
So if we were to approve, then it would go to a public hearing before the village board meeting, or when?
Yep, that's correct. We typically hold our public hearings at the village board meeting, where the village board then takes action on the plan.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, I don't think this one we don't need to adopt. It's discussion only. Okay, number 8, items for next agenda. Do we have items for next agenda?
We'll hopefully have the resolution for the comprehensive plan, and hopefully more.
Okay. Okay, so now I need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn? Second that.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We are done. Thank you.